Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome in Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon. Happy Tuesday to everybody out there, as we are going to continue to discuss a lot what's going on with Razorback basketball, especially all the awards that continue to get flooded in for some of these Razorbacks on the basketball team. We'll get into some of that. We'll also talk some Razorback baseball, and I'm sure everybody's not being overreactionary whatsoever to everything that's going on. But we'll get into that. We'll do some heavy hitters and, of course, get into your chats and get all the vibes that's going on there. But, fellas, it's Tuesday. It was a great time last night at Blue Ember, but how are the vibes here on this Tuesday afternoon?
The vibes are good. The vibes are great. Yes, last night was awesome. Appreciate everybody who tuned in and who was able to come out and hang out. That was great. How you guys feeling about next week? Y'all ready to push a little P next week? Because we're either going to Philly or Portland. Go ahead and start booking them trips, John. That's where we're going.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Last night we let that brisket talk. We had a good time over at the barbecue joint. It really was awesome seeing all that many Hog fans come out. And I've been thinking about it a lot. Every day I wake up, and I'm grateful that we are in this time of year because it's just a fun time of year. We're about to have a lot of fun with basketball postseason. Baseball is about to enter conference play. I certainly wish they'd play better, but I'm happy for this time of year. I'm grateful that we're in this era where our job is pretty easy, and our job's about to get pretty fun here soon.
Yes, exactly, because it is like postseason basketball time. I saw somebody in the chat already say Wednesday Sadness starts tomorrow, which is true. Wednesday Sadness does start tomorrow, and it's exciting to see not only just some like conference games and conference title tournament games there in the SEC, but even seeing over the past day or two some of these smaller conferences, some of these smaller things. You got buzzer beaters, you got the banked in shots for wins. I mean, just it's that time of year, man. It's one of the best times of year when all of this is going on. People fighting for their spot there in the NCAA tournament. So yeah, it's exciting, man. It's exciting, and it's exciting to see not only the anticipation for the SEC tournament when we get to see Arkansas again, but it's also exciting just to see Darius Acuff own every single award known to man. I mean, as far as the SEC goes, SEC, as it was announced yesterday, Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, only the third player to ever do that in SEC history. He got added into the mix of the AP SEC Player of the Year, the only unanimous All-SEC first-teamer in the AP as well. So, I mean, it's not like we got to sit here and be like, hey, man, this is kind of crazy. Can you guys believe that he's getting all these awards? No, we can. If we don't believe it, it's because we're just shocked that they actually gave it to him. But still, it's incredible and so deserved to see all the awards continuing to fly in for Darius Acuff in the great season that he's had.
Well, be careful. Don't talk about it too loud. You're going to get a bunch of grumpy Gators in here because they've been, pearl clutching, hand wringing, and everything in between since their man Thomas Houck got snubbed. Cope a little bit more, man. What are we talking about? Thomas Houck's terrific. He's an All-American caliber player. There's no doubt about it, but this just is not your year, man. Did you have an SEC Player of the Year type of season? Yeah, best player, best team, put up awesome numbers. Sure you did. But you didn't do what Acuff did. This year is a little bit different because he's on historic terms in terms of what he was able to do throughout the course of this season. When your company for what you have done over the course of this year is Pistol Pete, the end, like that's the list, there's no conversation to be had. So good on Darius Acuff, man. It was a heck of a season. And the best is yet to come, as we heard from our pal John Rothstein. He is available for the SEC tournament opener, which we knew was going to be the case. But that's great, and I can't wait to see what's in store for him moving forward because it's not lost on people around here just how special of a year it's been for him on an individual front and on a team that's doing some really, really good things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not even really about Tommy Houck. Like, it's not even about, we don't have to put him down to prop up Acuff. I just think that Acuff and what he's done speaks for itself. I think him being the only unanimous member of the first team All-SEC group speaks volumes because it tells you that every single player, every single coach, every single media member, every single person who covers the sport can look at Darius Acuff and say, that is a dude. That Arkansas team, I know they had a great performance on Saturday where they were able to win without him. Part of why we were so happy with that win without Acuff is because we genuinely didn't know if it was possible. We didn't know if Arkansas would even be able to function without Darius Acuff, let alone win a game. I think when you talk about who means more to their team, who had the best performances throughout the year, it's really I don't think anybody, if they took a step back and didn't have a dog in the race, I don't think many people would be having an issue with Darius Acuff winning Player of the Year. And by the way, I also, if Tommy had won it, I would have been upset that Darius didn't win. I wouldn't have been like, oh, wow, it's shameful that the best player on the best team won. Like, I would be disappointed from the Darius side. But both guys are outstanding. But, yeah, I saw Curtis going back and forth with some Florida fans who were like, Tommy outscored him in the game when they played head-to-head. So what does that mean? It's like, okay, so you got to win that game. And
Player of the game, buddy.
yeah, congratulations. That's a great thing. Are you the best player on the best team? Sure. But the rest of the league, like that's not the criteria necessarily. I understand that happens a lot, but not necessarily the criteria. And I think the fact that Arkansas finished third in the SEC made this a completely moot point. If Arkansas had finished 6th or 7th in the SEC, then you could really make that a case of, oh, the difference was way big. I don't know. I think most people who watched college basketball this year know that what Darius Acuff did is special, and it's okay to say that. Like, you don't have to get your feelings in a tizzy over this. Darius Acuff's a dude.
Well, let me just two things. First off, I didn't see, maybe I just haven't been on social media, but I didn't see like the Florida fans throwing up in arms or getting upset by this, which is hilarious because I don't care what anybody, you could sit there and talk about best team and all that stuff. Darius Acuff accomplished something that hasn't been done in 58 years. He led the SEC in scoring and assist, both. It's done. The argument's over. You did something that Pistol Pete Maravich did, and no one else. The argument's over. Let's go home. Like, I don't understand how anybody with a brain can sit there and be saying that there was some sort of like jip or some sort of screw job in this whole thing. When you see just that number, we could dive into, well, what they do head to head. What do well, this game, he had 3 turnovers. The guy did something that hasn't been done in 58 years by leading the SEC in 2 of arguably the most important statistical categories, and he did it consistently better than anybody else. I just cannot believe, I believe you. I just cannot believe that there are actually people, especially Florida fans, who are sitting there thinking that there was some sort of treachery afoot because their guy didn't get SEC Player of the Year. That's wild to me.
They're highly salted over there, man. It's crazy. And here's the thing. Like I saw, because there's so many different types of these awards. Like USA Today had him as the Player of the Year, and the AP had him as that. But the stuff that was released from the SEC yesterday was from the coaches.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be mad at, so you're mad at the, the 16 coaches in the league who are voting on this, who game plan for this dude, went against this dude, got torched by this dude. They all saw Florida. They all saw Arkansas, and they all voted for Darius Acuff. It kind of reminds me of what, like Sean Miller, what he had to say about Acuff after the game. And again, I don't want this to come across as like a knocking Tommy Hawk thing, because he is awesome, man. Like, I wish he was a hog. The dude he's a baller. How many coaches have gone to press conferences after a game and given that spiel about him and just how incredible he is? And why isn't he being talked about for number 1 in the draft? And this guy's unreal. And he's got the ball in 80% his hands for 80% of the time. It should be 100%. I've never seen anything like it. I've coached for 34 years. I've never seen a guy impact a game like this. Nobody's doing that for him. But we've had more than one coach now who's done that for Darius Acuff. So if people want to be mad about it, then I don't be mad at your boy Todd Golden, because he was one of the guys responsible for the votes here. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and I also think that, like, again, to make this about Florida and their team, like, I think having the number 1 team and having guys on your team that basically took Tommy away from the award, because if Florida weren't as well-rounded of a team, then maybe they would have depended on their best player more. But the way that team was constructed, they were not built to need their best player to bail them out all the time. And Arkansas, I don't know if we necessarily went into the season planning on it, but the way that it played out, Arkansas did need to count on Darius Acuff to bail them out a good bit. We see this happen with sports all the time. I mean, when LeBron went to Miami, he stopped winning MVPs for a couple of years there because everyone was like, you can't win MVP if you're going and building this great super team. So we gave it to Derrick Rose, despite the fact that Derrick Rose had worse numbers across the board. Everyone just kind of felt like, hey, he means more to his team than LeBron does to his team that's, got Dwayne Wade, got Chris Bosh and all that. And so if I were a Florida fan trying to make sense of this, I would look at this as like a good thing for my team, that we are so well-rounded that our best player can score 5 points and we will still have a good chance to win the game. That happened multiple times this year. There were multiple games where he wasn't a huge factor. He wasn't even their leading scorer, wasn't even their best player in that game. That's not a knock on him. That's just a testament to how good Florida was. But when you are the best team, it's a little bit harder for one specific individual to get all the credit and all the praise for it. And so really, if I were a Florida fan, this is the mental gymnastics I would be doing to be like, oh no, you can have this award, but we got the best team, which is a very valid thing to say, frankly. So I don't know why they're not just saying that.
Well, see, to your point too, Andrew, I think you brought it up of like when Mason Jones got co-player of the year or whatever it was like he led every single statistic that Emmanuel Quickly also had. The only difference was this one played for Kentucky. That was kind of the whole thing. But also the fact that Arkansas, I believe that year was those 4-16 teams, but they were the 10 seed, 11 seed, something like that in the SEC. And it was kind of like, okay, well, that's all they got. Selfishly and biasly, I admit, I didn't even care about that fact, that they weren't that good. But it's like this time around, can't even say that about like Acuff and saying that he didn't deserve, because he was on the team that finished with the 3 seed. So, I get it. Best player on best team, whatever. I'm glad that I didn't see any of those Florida fans because, can't really talk trash to them because they just won a title last year. But at least it's just like, okay, that's just absurd. That have you guys had Tommy, whatever his name is, Hall? Have you guys had Kendrick Perkins talk about him? I haven't seen that. Did you guys get a first take segment dedicated to him? No, I didn't see that. So again, not trying to downplay the guy, but just take off your blue or orange or whatever your primary color is, colored glasses, and just understand that Darius Acuff is that dude, and just give the guy the praise. There's no arguments. There's just no legitimate arguments that I will hear for anybody, freshman of the year, player of the year, otherwise. No arguments can be made.
No, not at all. And that was just the loudest. I saw some people that are like Acuff and not Phylon or what? No Tyler or Tanner, and I was like, okay, now we're really starting to reach here a little bit. Like everybody relax, but Florida fans, you're going to root for your guy, and we would have done the same thing if Acuff didn't get his. But I mean, hell, you won the league. You had Todd Golden as coach of the year. You had Chinyelu as defensive player of the year. You had Tommy Houck as a first team all conference guy. Chinyelu got second team. Condon got third team. Like, you were all over the thing. You're very well represented. You just didn't get the best award. Sorry.
Yeah, it's really that simple to me. That that it's when you look at an individual player who meant the most to their team. There's no real argument there for Acuff. I also think that Florida fans probably think, well, we had success against Acuff, so that should have disqualified him. I remember a couple years Hagen Smith got first team all SEC, and it was the year before Hagen Smith was the Hagen Smith of his junior year, and he wasn't even a starting pitcher the full year. He kind of closed for a little bit. He was first team starting pitcher, and the thing that kind of put him over the edge is, I can't remember which coach it was that said this, but he was basically like, hey, we scored 5 runs against Hagen Smith, and I could not believe we did it. He was like, I was so stunned by how much success. And so it's like, even, you talk about these coaches voting on these awards, even guys that they might have a good game plan against, even guys that you might have success against, how big of a feat it is for your team. I think that probably factored into it. Like, I think if Todd Golden, if you asked him seriously, like, hey, you had a good performance against Acuff, so does that mean he's not a good player? He'd be like, hell no. That just means we played great basketball. That means we did a great job on him, and maybe we caught him at the right time. But I think that factors into a lot of these things. And, the numbers side with Acuff, the eye test sides with Acuff. This is, I think most people understand this.
Yeah, I would agree there too. So we'll get to more of this discussion here in just a second, but want to remind everybody that OZK Insurance is the official insurance company of Inside Arkansas, and they are set apart from everybody else. You want to know why? Because they're an independent insurance agency. That means they're not just tied to one company. They shop a multitude of A-rated carriers to find the best coverage and price for you. And now that they've paired with something that you don't usually see from this independent agency, which is a full-service mobile app. Because with the OZK Insurance app, you can see all of your policies under one roof. Home, auto, whatever you have. Plus, you can also pay the bills, request roadside assistance, file claims, request policy changes, or even get new quotes, all from the comfort and convenience of your phone. So you get the best part of being an independent agent or having an independent agent, which is choice, flexibility, and real people, but as well as the convenience of modern technology. So if you're tired of being stuck with one carrier or chasing down paperwork, go to ozkinsurance.com or search OZK Insurance in the App Store or in Google Play. Local agency, national level options, one powerful app. That's OZK Insurance. So, and again, and last night, folks, we were there at Blue Ember Smokehouse. Really appreciate everybody who came out to the Pod Palace Live event with Malik Thomas and Amir Brown. Was really fun, and Really had it. Not only just a great turnout, but those guys were great too, and sticking around and taking pictures, signing autographs, and everything. But we were talking about the accomplishments and everything. It worked out perfectly in timing and everything. And I wanted to play this clip actually from the show last night from Malik Thomas when he was Curtis, when asked about his not only him being on the All SEC freshman team, but also the other accolades that his teammates received, especially Darius Acuff. And here's what Malik had to say.
Got a great group of guys. Everybody talented. Darius has proved everything that he's needed all year. And so one thing I will say is the work's always going to show up. So he's definitely showed why he deserves everything that's come his way. Billy, so much to say about Billy and his work ethic and how hard he goes for us. So, he deserved it. I told him that he deserves everything coming his way because that's just a defense accolade. He deserves a lot more, in my opinion.
Sure.
And then myself, I just stay hard at my work, stay hard at my craft, and know that everything is going to happen for me the way it needs to. So that's that. I'm very blessed, very thankful.
I mean, it's hard not to be more likable than what you have somebody like a teammate like that hypes you up and says even Billy deserved more than just that defensive award. He needed a lot more and deserved a lot more than that.
It's very cliche thing to say here, but Malik Thomas gets it, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's a very mature young man there. Loved everything that he had to say last night, and that was really cool. And yeah, I mean, he's right. Acuff was incredible. Everything that has come his way, well earned, and that's just the work showing there. I'm with him on Billy Richmond. I was thinking about this when I was kind of trying to project like what Razorbacks would get, what honors and everything. And I thought Trevin might get the defensive team honors. And we talked to those guys off the air, by the way, and they both felt like, maybe Trevin got, I don't know if snubbed is the right word, but they were surprised that he didn't wind up getting anything. We were talking about stocks and everything else with those. It was fun beforehand. But I think everybody was excited for Billy. The truth is, Billy's not even the best defensive player on his team. And he's not the most impactful statistically. I think he was a better defender last year than he was this year. But this was voted on by the league coaches. And I kind of get the feeling that what happened here is if you think about defensive awards, you can look at it from one or two standpoints. It's like, okay, who's getting the blocks and the steals and the rebounds and everything like that. So like statistically, or you can look at it and think about it as like an effort and a hustle and a grit type of award. And that's why I think Billy Richmond wound up on his team, because he impacts things in so many ways that don't show up on the box score. His presence is always felt out there. He's a dude who will guard all 5 positions on the floor. He dives for loose balls. He wins the 50-50s. He's just a constant presence and honestly a pain in the butt for teams to deal with out there. I think that's why he got this award, because it's true. Like if you looked at the other guys on there and you were comparing stats and everything, or even comparing him to a guy like Trevin or Leak, who was top 10 in the conference in steals, he might not match up from that standpoint, but everybody knows what Billy Richmond is all about. I just felt like with the season he had, he deserved to get some sort of recognition for it. Mm-hmm. And this makes sense to put him where they did. I thought maybe he'd get third team or something like that, but I like this right here. I'm happy for Billy.
Yeah, I'm good with it as well. I think I could be wrong. I think we were the ones that broke that news to them. Because I remember while we were sitting there at the table is when Malik was like, oh, hey, Darius won player of the year. Like he was checking his phone and was like, oh, Darius won player of the year. That's awesome. And then I was like, yeah, no all defense for TB. And Malik's eyes got big where he was like, what? He's like, no, he didn't make the all defense team. And I said, I thought TB should have gotten it over Billy, which, you kind of articulated there. And neither of them disagreed with me. Now, they didn't. Now, obviously, I'm sure they weren't going to push back and be like, no, actually. But I think that like their reaction of being surprised about Trevin not being on there. And, I think we were all kind of bummed that he didn't get any type of recognition, not even a third team nod or anything like that. He's better than Condon, right?
Totally.
What's Condon's stats this year? Is he cooking like that?
He's pretty solid.
But
he's not doing the defensive work.
Sure. Yeah. But no, I for sure. And like, you mentioned the stocks, which I couldn't believe they weren't familiar with that term. Yeah. They didn't know what stocks were. They were like, and then I think Amir was like, I think it's steals and blocks. I think that's what that is. But no, yeah.
Talking to you guys in the film room. What are we doing?
I mean, yeah, come on, man. But yeah, TB. I mean, listen, if TB balls out in the tournament, it's not gonna matter. And maybe TB will get his recognition in maybe June, maybe July. Maybe that's when he can get some recognition. But I thought it was cool that his teammates cared that he didn't get it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's where my whole players are going to talk about they're being coached up and they're going to do media relations and say the right things in most cases, and it's all well and good. But it was just nice to kind of hear it from somebody like Malik Thomas, especially we could hear it from a bunch of different players. But Malik Thomas, it's like, man, this is a guy that is a 5-star player, McDonald's All-American, played on high-level teams. You can tell he's got swagger, he's got that confidence in himself. A one and done type of player who's going to go in the NBA. He's probably going to sign a multi-million-dollar contract here in a couple of months. I mean, it's just that level. And to see him as a true freshman, a one and done, 1-year player come in and look at the team that he's never going to play, odds are, never going to play with any of these guys ever again. And somebody like Trevin Brazil, we hope that all of them have great careers in the NBA and everything, but just the likelihood of them ever playing again together is probably not going to happen. And him having the raw reaction of almost being shocked and in a way pissed that Trevin Brazil was not all SEC defensive team. It's like, that's the stuff that just makes me so happy to see, because you want all of the teams of your favorite team and favorite sport to bond together and love each other, but it just doesn't happen all the time. And especially with basketball, you got this high level of talent. These guys, especially you have the freshmen that come walking in like Acuff and Malik Thomas, and you have the guys who've been around forever like Pringle and Brazil. It just seems like everybody truly gets along, gets it. I don't know if that's a testament to them as personalities. I don't know if it's a testament to Cal and the job he does. Maybe it's all the above. But I just really love seeing the initial defending of your own guy type of deal, where if this guy got snubbed, he shouldn't have gotten snubbed, and I'm mad about that, even though this is a guy I'm only going to know for about 9 months and move on with our lives.
Yeah, for sure, man. That was really cool. And then I think one of the questions maybe from the audience at the end was sort of to that regard about what are you going to miss most about this team, in this group, and then him being able to say the whole thing about just the camaraderie and everything with these guys and all that. And it was like you try to get Malik Thomas to talk about himself, and he doesn't want to do it. Right? He wants to talk about his teammates and everybody else. You try to get him to single something out, he doesn't want to do it. He's very much, and it's what I was most impressed about with him, like zero ego. And there's no me guy into it, but that's weird because he's got such a supreme confidence in everything that he does individually. But Cal always talks about, what's his saying, lose yourself within the team. And it really feels like Malik Thomas has done that to a large degree there. So I'm with you, man. I was impressed with all that. And yeah, it would be easy to be a guy like him who could come in and, you're thinking one and done, and man, I'm in the league this time next year. And whatever. I want to win and I want to compete, but I'm here to get mine and all that. And he's just not wired that way at all. The dude went out there and put 30 on Missouri's head, kind of had his moment to step up and be the alpha. And all he was worried about was the team getting the dub. And I thought that was pretty cool.
For sure. And you can just tell that him and Amir both, they have now really fallen in love with the state of Arkansas, the fan base. They love the love they get from these guys. They love playing in Bud Walton Arena, but they seem to really embrace, where they're at. They are where their feet are. I'm sure at one point, and they kind of even spoke to it, at one point, they would have gone to play with Cal if Cal were the coach at Oklahoma, or if he were the coach at Kentucky, or if he were the coach at LSU. They probably would have gone there. And so when they first came to Arkansas, I don't know if they necessarily felt that way. Not that they didn't love the fan base and didn't want to be hogs or whatever, but I think it means a little bit something different to them now. I also thought it was very interesting. One of the crowd questions was like, what do you guys do outside of basketball? Neither dude really had an answer. Malik Thomas was like, sometimes I play video games. I go out to eat. I go get a burger, which reminds me a little bit of JD Note. That's kind of how he was wired. And, I'm sure there's some things they do outside of basketball every now and then, but I think that's pretty accurate. And if you think about Malik Thomas's college experience in Fayetteville, almost every minute of it has been with his boys, has been in some form or fashion playing basketball, being with his teammates. And so I think when these guys leave Fayetteville and they have, their memories of what they were doing, it's going to be a lot of memories of out on the road with the boys, going to eat with the boys, playing some basketball. You remember that clip of the guy from Boston College when they got eliminated from the conference tournament? And they were like, what are you going to miss most? He's like, going out to eat. It's like, I know it's a funny thing, but it's like, that is what these guys, that is what the last 4 months has been like for these guys. It's all they do is play basketball, hang out with their teammates. And I think at this point, as we're now in March, there's a different little level of camaraderie, different level of love, and different level of pride in just being a Razorback that I don't know if necessarily that was there in October, November.
Yeah, and it's a tough thing to do because of like just being able to have the camaraderie in a short period of time with the type of team. And again, it's as a coach, you do scouting on the type of talent and, you know, seeing guys who can help out with some weaknesses that your team has and everything. But it's even tougher to scout personalities. You know, you can't just, it's like I haven't recruited. I know, Curtis, you have, but it's like I would think if you're just a coach and you go up to the kid's high school coach or AAU coach or whatever, be like, hey, tell me about the kid. You think that guy's going to be like, man, you know, this guy, I don't know about him. It's I wouldn't recruit him. He's got some weird stuff. He likes to, you know, draw things with crayons in the corner by himself. Like, oh, they're going to be like, great teammate, best guy ever, kids love. Like, so it's you can't just take everybody's word for it. It's something that you have to just find and have to hit on. And it's almost as important of hitting on the personalities as much it is the talent of anybody, so it can fit in. Because you all know, especially in a small team like basketball, one player that is awry or that causes problems can really ruin everything. So, but that's what makes it so much fun to where now that we're in postseason play, like last night with Malik Thomas, or even in the case of Darius Acuff and all that, just folks enjoy them and enjoy them while you got them. Enjoy seeing them and hearing from them and seeing them play in a Razorback jersey, because these are guys of hopefully the postseason ends up being a very special and unique one anyways. But regardless of the outcome of postseason, it's been awesome to see these guys play and to see them being as Razorbacks. So that's the most important thing.
Fun group.
Yep, I love it.
Group.
Let's see. Also, too, I'll tell you what, as part of our Alumni Hall question of the day, which, by the way, we're going to be at Alumni Hall on Friday, folks. So if you're looking for some great Razorback apparel, getting ready for the SEC baseball weekend, some of you may not be ready for it, but hey, listen, they're going to be ready for it as they have Mississippi State coming to town, but you need some brand new Razorback baseball apparel, right? Well, they got plenty of it at Alumni Hall. In fact, they got all of it at Alumni Hall. No matter if you need the jerseys, if you need the hats, if you need the polo shirts, whatever it is, they have it, and it's all the high-end things for men, women, and kids. It could be Southern Tide, Columbia. They have Johnny O. They have it all. So check them out. Or you can come hang out with us on Friday from 12 to 2. They're at Alumni Hall, where if you walk in and use that code INSIDEAR20, you get 20% off your purchase. I can't get a better deal than that. There's no better place in town to get all of your Razorback gear, so you can come over and hang out with us Friday, or you can also shop them online at insidearkansas.com/alumni hall. It is Alumni Hall, the ultimate Razorback shopping experience. So, guys, as part of the Alumni Hall question today, I'm going to set it up this way from another clip from last night. As we were there at Blue Ember, Curtis asked, well, I'll just have Curtis set up the question here in the video, and then you get to hear the response from one Amir Brown.
Somebody again, is there anybody, and it doesn't have to be like we got to get our get back, or is there anybody, whether it was just a game that you had a lot of fun with, or that you played well, or a matchup where you want to see somebody again? Is there a team out there that you're like, I wouldn't mind seeing those guys this week in Nashville?
Bama.
There we go.
Yeah, no team specific for me.
Okay. Bama. Well, you were quick to the trigger there.
Bama.
Did no hesitation, no like let me scale this back a little bit. Amir's just Bama.
Yep.
So we say Amir wants Bama, just like the old adage goes.
Yeah, Amir thought he was getting in the game against Bama. He told us a little bit later there. I mean, I would have to imagine that a lot of those dudes feel that way. You know, anytime you lose a game, you want to see the team again. Like, it's just the competitive nature in you. But, you know, that one, the way it went down with, you know, on the road, double overtime, the way they kind of grinded it out, you run out of players, to lose that game the way they did, that felt like probably the right answer to me. It was either going to be that or Kentucky, right? Because they got you at home. But they seem very much ready to get another shot at the Tide. I hope it happens.
Yeah, you know, it's very interesting because, you know, throughout the season, coaches and players usually don't, you know, talk about stuff like this. Like after every game, you know, the coach immediately flushes it. Oh yeah, you know, just another game. We're getting right back to it. All right, now we got to go on to the next game. And you have this kind of regiment that you don't break. And even if a loss deeply affects you, you don't say anything about it. So I always appreciate when we get to hear this, even if it is hindsight, to be like, yeah, that's one that I'm thinking about. That's one that I'm getting back. And I also think for this Razorback team, that Bama game was a very important moment. One, because you were on the road against a really good team, and that's, you know, the exact kind of test you're going to face in March. But for them to come up just short in a double overtime game, you lose by one, Acuff goes crazy, you've got all these guys fouling out and everything. Like, I like that Arkansas as a team looks back at that and not only sees a game that they should have won, but sees all these missed opportunities, sees all these moments that they could have done better, and it sticks with them. And I think as you roll into the NCAA tournament and you're kind of having to clean some of these things up, I like that they still have that motivation of like they're still thinking about that one that they lost. And, maybe it gives them a little extra push if they see him again in the SEC tournament. But also if you just go into the NCAA tournament, you remember the moments where it didn't go well for you, and you remember why it didn't go well. And now you just get to sit with that and live with that, and we'll see if they've learned.
Yeah, in fact, I proposed the question out to our loving audience that if you were to face one team, as a Razorback fan, face one team in the SEC tournament again, who would you want it to be? And the choices were, I couldn't put all the losses in there, but Florida, Alabama, Kentucky, or another team. So I felt like that's kind of the main ones. I don't know if you guys have seen the voting, but which would you guess is the one that the audience, not you, but the audience wants?
I would guess Kentucky. I would choose Bama.
Yeah, Kentucky or Bama. And I think Bama is like the cheap one because they are very clearly in the path. It's a very so I think a lot of fans have probably just looked at the bracket, seen that they might play Bama and would be excited about that one. Yeah, Bama or Kentucky for me.
Well, it's a pretty close vote as of right now. But where it stands, Bama has 43.5% of the vote. Kentucky's at 40%. So very close votes there. But I'm with you guys. I want Bama again. And, I'm sure that people will be like, oh, that's your Super Bowl. Blah. It's like, no, it's just because, the matchup. And also, too, take out the Razorback element of it. Let's just be honest, guys. Take out the Razorback element of this or the Bama element of whatever. After seeing that game the first time around, who wouldn't want to watch a game like that again? I'm not saying it would be the exact same way, but who wouldn't want to see Darius Acuff go for 50 points again? Who wouldn't want to see an overtime thriller where plays are getting made and high-scoring, high-flying offenses? Just take the Arkansas-Alabama fandom out of all of it. I think the SEC and college basketball would just love to see that game again. Like the Kentucky thing is one deal, and it'd be nice to kind of exercise that demon again and not have to sit with a loss to Kentucky for a full year. But, man, I want Bama, man. I want to win that game. I really want to win that game. I'm tired of losing to them as well. This losing streak's got to come to an end against Alabama.
It does. Yeah, it does. I hope we get that on Saturday. If Arkansas loses that one, normally, in the SEC tournament, I'd just be like, whatever, like rest up and let's go play the real one now. I'm gonna be pretty pissed if they lose to that dude again. I'm sick. I'm with you. I'm sick of it, man. I'm tired of losing Nate Oates. It's driving me nuts.
It's driving me nuts as well. But I also will say we have a built-in, not an excuse, but we have built-in mental gymnastics of, well, we didn't want to play 3 games in 3 days anyway. And so if you lose to Bama in game number 2, it's like, okay, all right, we're fine. We needed that rest anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was going to try to think, because to your point, Curtis, of like, what would be the time of it's like the SEC tournament. I'm trying to think of a time where I was just really pissed that Arkansas lost an SEC tournament game. Like there's times I was bummed. Like wasn't that A&M team that one year when I think they went to the title game and lost, and so like that was annoying and frustrating. But I'm with you. I feel like I'd be pissed again if they lost to Bama in the SEC tournament, even though I don't care as much about the SEC tournament. Mm-hmm. Like, has there been another game that you guys can think of?
Kingsley, Kentucky SEC championship game against Cal. That was one that I really wanted to win in the moment. Yeah,
but that team was the undefeated team, right, for Kentucky? Or is that that was a different year?
I was I think it was a different year, but it was just another, really good Kentucky team that was probably like 28-5 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Moses Kingsley getting ejected and all that. Yeah, that was a bummer too.
If you can't beat them, steal their coach.
That's right. Yeah, just 10 years later, making that happen. So, well, Amir wants Bama, and apparently the fans want Bama too. So maybe we'll all get our wish and get ready for that. But yeah, the SEC tournament starting up tomorrow. Love the fact that it's LSU and Kentucky at like 2 in the morning. It's not that early, but it's 11:30 in the morning on the SEC network. Man, that's just got to really burn their grits, doesn't it? The fact that they got Kentucky the first game of the SEC tournament, that makes me laugh and happy all at the same time. The fact that the first game of the SEC tournament is Kentucky, that makes me so happy hearing that.
Mark Pope's overthinking it over there. Did you see like they're the only team that's not doing their shoot around on site? And he was giving his big brain responses about it on, we want to keep the schedule this way and our game day routine that way and this and that and analytics and brain power meditation. It's just like, my brother in Christ, just go get your shots up in the gym and go play tomorrow. He's overthinking everything. I hope they lose. I hope they lose to LSU.
Me too, of course. I also am going to go out on a limb because that game will be happening during our show, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say there will still be Kentucky fans in here pissing and moaning, despite the fact that their team will be playing in that very moment.
Correct.
Yeah. Because, well, I didn't see that, Curtis, about what Pope was saying, but if I'm a Kentucky fan, I'm like, hey, just shut up and go play the game. You know, like, don't do all this stuff. Like, it doesn't need to be any sort of like a puzzle that you're putting together. And it's the SEC tournament, man. Like, just go out and play. You got the 9 seed. You go out and do your thing. But I know I'm also curious, and I don't know if there'll ever be a way to know. I'm also curious, you know, because Kentucky always takes over the SEC tournament in Nashville. You know, like it's what they call it, Rupp South or whatever. I'm wondering if like this will be like the least attended Kentucky fandom of going to an SEC tournament in quite a long time.
I think they were saying the Wednesday tickets were like way more expensive than they've ever been. Whatever, like it's like $60 some odd to get in there, as opposed to you can get in for like $15 under normal circumstances. So I guess they're still traveling.
I mean, it's not that far of a trip, right? So it's like
it's not.
The convenience of it outweighs the cowardice that has been displayed by the Cats.
Yeah. Well, if they lose to LSU, I'm going to say it. I'm going to demand Mark Pope be fired. I'm just going to say
it. John, we can't have Mark Pope getting fired. That's not what we want.
No, well, we don't want that. Well,
they hired Dan Hurley. You know.
Well, let me rephrase it. You're right, Andrew. Let me rephrase it. I want the rumors to start up that he's going to get fired, but not get fired. You know, like really put that, but be like, we have, and then it's not Mitch Barnhart. I don't know whoever the new AD is, whatever it is, comes out and is like, we believe in Mark Pope. We are having a new investment into NIL. Oh, a new investment, huh? $22.5 million wasn't enough. You got to have the new reinvestment of the numbers there. Yeah, that's what I want. And Curtis, I know you shared this with us today as well. Speaking of money and all that good stuff when it comes to the NIL spending, here's are the budgets, according from OU Insider, of the most expensive SEC basketball rosters. Look at that, Kentucky, top of the line at $22 million, and then you just have a bunch of $10+ million.
Whole bunch of that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what to make of this graphic because anytime we get these figures, it always feels like a little bit of just a kind of shot in the dark, especially when you're saying 10+ mils. It's like, what does that mean? Does one of those teams, did one of them spend 15 million? Did one of them spend 12? Like, what does that look like? And also the 22 mil, we know that came from that weird report, you know, back in October or whatever that everybody was talking about. I have a hard time believing that Texas A&M spent 10 million on their roster.
Yeah.
Where did it go?
I think it's only because they've got like 14 guys in their rotation. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's that they've got a bunch of high dollar dudes, but maybe they just have so many that it added up.
Well, I also thought about this graphic too of like, Oklahoma's at $6.5 million, like second to last in the SEC. Can you really be mad at Porter Moser? Can you really fire the guy?
It's a pretty good roster he assembled for that price, honestly.
I love that they got an exact number for them in South Carolina. They're like, no, this is how much they spent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just wondered about that because I know we talked about Porter and, you know, I think unless something crazy happens, he'll probably be moving on and find some other job. But at the same time, I was like, man, if he's done, like you said, if he's done that with that budget and the NIL, geez, imagine if they actually did invest into the basketball and was one of those 10+ million teams. Who knows? Maybe to actually have a really good basketball team. So,
anybody else surprise y'all on there? Like Missouri being a 10 million plus. It's like, I guess. I mean, Mark Mitchell's good, but outside of that, who are they paying?
I don't know if I quite believe that, like, from Ole Miss to Vandy, all those teams are spending right around the exact same. Yeah. You know, and again, I don't know where these numbers come from, or I'm sure there's some real reporting that was done there, but I don't know if I can put a ton of stock into this.
Yeah, the Missouri one was a little surprising to me, and like as far as the other ones go, like A&M, I know you brought up what would be a little bit interesting. I'm just starting to think that Vanderbilt, they got more money because they do it in football and in basketball and in baseball. So it's like whatever they're doing is working out.
Bama 8 to 10 million there too. Like they didn't have any money on their roster.
I had heard that their NIL was lower than people would anticipate. I still don't feel like they're in the lower tier of that's ridiculous to say that they're in the lower tier of the SEC. Now, they probably belong in that 10 million plus range. Maybe they're in the bottom end of that or something, but it does kind of reflect a little bit this year. Like if you look at how bad their front court is and the pieces they had to bring in from that standpoint, like if Amari Allen wasn't way better than advertised, they wouldn't be looking so good right now. It kind of looks like a roster that spent a lot to retain Phylon and Holloway, and then they just got some pieces outside of that. But I think they might be getting shortchanged a little bit here. So they got the same amount of money as Mississippi State or LSU. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is I saw with Bama, I'm like, okay, either one, which I don't know why it would be, they're underselling it and lying, saying that no, we don't have as much. Or two, as much as I hate to admit, it just shows that once again, like Nate Oates knows how to coach. Like, I mean, if he's got, just say this is all accurate, say he's in the bottom half for sure of the SEC and spending, and he's been able to do this, then the dude truly is a better coach than I think he's a great coach, but he's even a better coach than what I thought. If he's out here being able to ball under a budget and still have a 2 seed in the SEC.
Right.
So, yeah, if that was the case, imagine like Alabama's there and then you see LSU, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss. You're like, you guys are all in the same type, and like one is not the same from the others when it comes to that.
Yeah, if I'm the AD or GM or whoever for any of those other schools, I'm taking a hard look in the mirror, and being like, well, we need to start doing what they're doing because this is tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty fascinating to see. And the $10+ million, hey, who knows? Maybe it could be other schools spending $22 million, but you'll never know because only one team was stupid enough to tell everybody that they were spending that amount of money. So, we'll have our heavy hitters here in just a little bit. I know we'll get to your chats, but Andrew, I know you've been doing on bombastic and everything too. Do you want to calm some fans down about baseball? Like, do you want to let everybody know it's going to be just fine and okay?
Well, I don't. My goal is not to calm anyone down. Everyone can do whatever they want to do. I think it's fair. You split a 4-game set with Stetson. That ain't good. You shouldn't be doing that. And I thought Dave said it pretty well yesterday in his post game. He was like, "Hey, we've got a lot of new guys in our program, and they kind of need to know that's not what we do around here. That's not how we do things around here. And you have to be a little bit better." And so I think the way I would calm fans down is I think a lot of fans always see bad results and think, okay, so that means we need to switch up the methodology of what we're doing. We need to switch up the coaching staff. We got to switch up the lineup. We got to change everyone's role. And that's where I don't think, I really buy that. I think what needs to happen is the Arkansas Razorbacks need to play better baseball. That's what that's my opinion of what I think they should do. I don't think you bench. I mean, now they will tinker a little bit with the lineup, especially with a guy like Carter Rutenbar kind of forcing his way in there. And, I think TJ Pompey, Carson Brumbaugh, and even Nolan Souza, who's starting to swing it a little bit better, until those guys really get it going, they can't be offended by DVH tinkering with the lineup. They can't be offended by them shuffling things around. I do think there's obviously still a lot in place, pitching to staff department, and also just in the middle of that lineup to where I still think Arkansas's floor as a team is very high. Now, the ceiling might be lower than we thought, which is a very real concern that people could have. But in terms of the people that are like comparing this to 2016 or acting like Arkansas is going to miss the NCAA tournament, I don't think you guys even believe that.
No way. I think for me, and it's just like basketball. Like teams get better, they improve throughout the course of the season. Usually, I mean, I guess it's not always the case, but I would kind of anticipate that Arkansas would do that, and the pieces will start to fall into place. Some guys will figure it out. As the weather warms up, the bats will warm up. Hopefully all those things are true. I just am not going to be able to shake, I don't think, after seeing, and I know, but like Arkansas State and then UTA and Stetson, when we get to a regional, I'm just going to be like, you never know. And last year, obviously, I just didn't there was not a single shred of my mind that was like, oh, this could happen again. I just didn't feel that way. This year, it's almost like no matter what, whoever they draw, I'm going to be like, Not that I'll be projecting Arkansas to lose in their own regional or somebody else's or whatever, but you just know that it's a possibility because we've seen now 4 examples in which it played out that way against who would potentially be a 3 or a 4 or whatever in a regional.
Well, that's 100% valid. Like
Right.
That is something I think, because I think this team has less margin for error than they had last year.
Sure.
Reminds you a little bit of 2024 when, of course, they did get bounced in a regional. And so I also think, having little margin for error doesn't disqualify you from being very good, doesn't disqualify you from going on a run and going to Omaha. And I think, weirdly enough, I think this team is actually built for Omaha in a weird way where, like, if they get to Omaha, I think they're going to be a problem, with the way they pitch and the way that they play. They haven't played great defense here lately, but just the way that they do things, I think they could be a little bit of a problem, but you got to hit your way to Omaha. And that's what last year's team, we had no question they were going to be able to do that. This year's team absolutely has that question. And that's something they're going to have to fight all year. They're also going to have to fight their own fan base, which we saw the 2022 team do that. They got to the point where they didn't even like playing at home. I don't think we're going to get that crazy here, but it could definitely get contentious. They got a really good team coming in this weekend. Even if Arkansas plays well, they might lose this series this weekend. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how the fan base, like what the vibe is at Baum this weekend.
Yeah, that's my thing of like this baseball team and the program. And it's gone so well. I know they haven't won the title, but everything else has gone really, really well. At some point in time, it was going to take a step back. At some point in time, it was going to start to get a little bit. And there's still a lot of season left. It could all change and everything. But it's like when that happens, I mean, when you have a standard and expectation, was it 3 straight years of a national seed? And 18 plus wins in the SEC every year since 2017. It's like at some point in time, it's like I still look at it, I'm like, wait, but this team's 12-5. Like they're number 6 in the country. It's like, well, but I'm pissed. Like it's like it just sounds so crazy, but that's the standard and that's the expectation, especially given the fact that the SEC right now is an interesting one, and you also have Mississippi State coming to town this weekend. Like SEC play is here, so it's no longer about just working out the cobwebs, and no, it's here. So you want to be looking like you're ready for SEC baseball. And right now, where it stands, I'm not going to go in this Mississippi State series being like, oh yeah, Arkansas's got this, no problem. They're going to win it. I just can't feel that confident in it right now. But who knows? I'll gladly love to be wrong, and they sweep Mississippi State.
The lads are going to level up. They're going to take 2 out of 3 this weekend. That's how I'm feeling.
I like that.
Yeah.
Which
they might lose Friday, and everybody's just like, "Oh my god!" But they're going to win the series.
No, for sure. Yeah, that would be interesting right there. But and do we all agree? You beat Mississippi State this weekend. Everything we've been over here talking about is kind of almost moot. Like you
Absolutely.
still have your concerns or whatever, but it's like we can pump the brakes a little bit if they beat.
Yes.
I mean, Mississippi State's number 3 in the country. They're the team that you would fear if everything that Arkansas has going on right now. They could shut a lot of things up this weekend, but it's up to them. And by the way, it's up to the players. It's not up to Nate Thompson. It's not up to Matt Hobbs. It's not even up to DVH. These guys got to go out there and do it, and they have to figure it out amongst themselves. It's not like Arkansas is doing anything different than they did last year. They just have different players in certain spots. Those guys got to be better.
Yep. Sometimes it's just simple as that. You just got to be better. All right. We'll get to our heavy hitters here in a bit. And we'll also have a lot of things to talk about in y'all's chats, which I'm sure are really great and really nice and loving and caring and all of that stuff. But either way, let's get to a few of them, though. Super chats get read first. That's how it all works. But shout out to our guy, Austin. He just says, we got Dave. We'll be straight.
There we go.
I like that. Which, I mean, is kind of a fact, honestly.
Yeah. Yes. It's like again, the fact that I'm just speaking for me. Like I'm concerned. I'm a little annoyed. I'm a little pissed. It just shows that how the expectation and the standard is at Arkansas. And as crazy as that is. And I think, because I've talked to some people, I think the players understand that, especially the new ones that come in. They're like, no, dude. Like, if you drop a game and if you're going out there and you're losing a game to Stetson 6-4, people are pissed and you're going to start hearing things. Like, I mean, it sucks, but it's the standard. It's what it is here. And I say this also to any parents out there, baseball parents. I know it's tough. Like we talked to a parent of a player last night, and we've talked to other parents and their of players. It sucks. I can't imagine what it's like. I cannot imagine what it's like if your kid's struggling and dealing with the fans. I can't imagine. But unfortunately, it's when you come to a big time program like Arkansas, it's part of it. It sucks. It's not right, but it's part of it. So hopefully
you can certainly find some places to where if you lose a game, they won't care, and you can also find some places where if you win a game, they won't care because nobody's watching. You can go to a lot of different programs. And I think that's where it's like, I think that's a very valid thing that like the fans can get in your head a little bit. That's also just something you have to overcome as a player. Like you kind of have to be prepared for that. You'll feel better about yourself when you come out of the other end of it. You start playing well, then they'll get behind you, then you'll feel good and you'll be a better man for it. Sometimes you just got to bleed a little bit in front of them.
That's right. That's right. Shout out to Brandon. Appreciate it, man. He goes, Florida's coping for some reason, too. They've been whining on Arkansas posts for days. Then in BBN have joined crybaby forces.
Yeah, man. I'm with you. And I started this before we talked about it earlier, so we don't have to go too far more into it. But, like, Florida fans are – I think it was Quinn who told us at one point, like, how bad they were on the internet. Mm-hmm. And we were just kind of like, oh, whatever, like BBN, man, it's crazy with them. Florida fans are quickly climbing my list of the fan bases on the internet that drive me nuts, man. They are deep in their feelings, and it's weird because if it was me and I was in their situation, I would just be the best team in the conference and just kind of let that speak for itself. But they're salted Gators over there.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. And maybe it's just because of like all the teams in the SEC and that have been in the SEC as long or more than Arkansas. It's like Florida's the team and program across all sports that you've had like the least dealings with, maybe.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, because in football they've owned you because the first time you beat them ever was in 2016, and the first time you won in Gainesville was in 2022 or 3 or whatever it was. But it was just every so often. And then in basketball, it's like you played them once a year for the most part, but it was Billy Donovan, and then you just never literally had all that. But yeah, it's almost like, hey, you guys are horrible, but we haven't dealt with you in years, kind of thing. Yeah. But yet you've been over there, so it's just very strange. Let's see. So Fats by 21 Super Chat says, disagree with Ellis. Nate Thompson is the problem.
Which, of course, this is like this is big brain stuff right here. Here's my thing: Arkansas's had the exact same coaching staff since 2019. Pitching coach, hitting coach, head coach. Bobby Warnes, as the fourth assistant, like it's been the same operation the entire time. And during that time span, we've seen elite offenses. We've seen elite pitching staffs. We've seen mediocre offenses. We've seen mediocre pitching staffs. We even saw in 2024 a borderline bad offense. Then we saw them, be very good last year. There's a fluctuation. And that fluctuation is not, hey, Nate Thompson's doing a great job this year. Oh, now next year, no, now he's not doing a good job. And, now in 2021, he's doing a good job again. The fluctuation is the pieces you have, which that's, Nate Thompson, the recruiter. That's what you could say. You could say, hey, Nate Thompson whiffed on his TJ Pompey evaluation. That'd be something we could talk about and say, hey, yeah, Arkansas, dedicated a decent amount of their funds to bringing in a third baseman who has not produced at all for them. And should they have maybe dropped a bag somewhere else to get a shortstop? I don't know. But what is it that you guys think, in dead serious, like what is it do y'all think that Nate is doing differently this year than he was doing last year? And the answer is he had very different players last year who were very good to where all of a sudden he wasn't a problem. And now all of a sudden the lineup pieces aren't producing. And so now he's a problem again. I just think it's like a cop out weird, bird brain thing to do where it's like you just see something bad and you're like, let's just fire a coach. It's like, all right, come on. Yeah.
No, that was going to be my thing if anybody brings up Nate Thompson. I'm not saying Nate Thompson's the greatest ever, but like last year, you think he just fell backwards and lucked in. It was like, even despite my horrible coaching, this team is still, all of them are batting over 300. It's like, no, it's not as simple as that. Let's see. Also, shout out to Billy Richmond Enjoyer, which love the name, by the way. Says, big shout out to Curtis for leading that interview last night. That is not an easy job. Amazing vibes.
It's easy with the people I was hanging out with, though. You know what I mean? Not a whole lot was required to go into that. We were just talking ball up there, so it was good, and really, the whole thing was awesome. Like shout out to Blue Ember for not only hosting us, but those guys were on it in terms of setting everything up and kept continuously asking us what we need and getting us this, getting us that. That was great. I mean, they were super hospitable. They even, they brought out to the food to the guys, and they forgot that they said, hey, could we get it to go when they got out of there? Because they weren't going to eat in the middle of the stream. I saw some people commenting saying, why is there no barbecue in front of these guys? Dude, they took enough barbecue home to feed the entire roster. I promise you. But then after the show, I thought it was awesome is that they were taking pictures of everybody and everything like that, and stuff had been sitting there for a while. So they were like, no. They went to the back and made them all fresh barbecue to be able to take their, some hot plates back home. That was awesome. John had more cords and wires and everything going around than he knew what to do with. And he was making sure the audio levels were good and everything. Intern Gigi's, screening questions. Everybody was involved in that. And it was really, really good. And then having the two players there who were just easy to talk to and engage with, you didn't feel like you had to drag anything out of them. It was honestly easy for us. It was no big deal. And that's the kind of stuff that you look forward to when you do these things. It's not always the case.
Yeah, no, it was great last night, man. And it was so much fun and everybody involved. Because that's one of those things, too. It's not like we have an RSVP of like, all right, get your tickets now. It's like we knew people were going to show up, like, because, anytime we do live location shows, people show up and we always are appreciative of it. But for something like that, it's like, we could have 30 people or it could be standing room only. And it literally was pretty much standing room. All the tables were filled and there was people having to stand. So that was what was the coolest thing. And I know, again, we want people comfortable. It's not like we're just like, oh, we're going to put one table in here and the rest of you can just stand up the whole time. It's like, no, but it's great for the business of Blue Ember. It's great for those players who show, because they don't want to be sitting there talking to, no offense, just us and nobody else in the audience. It's like, it was great for everybody who came out, and the amount of people came out was really cool. And I know that they appreciated it and everything. It was awesome.
Well, and the most challenging part about hosting it or whatever was like the time frame, because we were kind of planning on leaving maybe because we had them for an hour. We were planning on leaving like maybe the last 10 minutes or so for the meet and greet stuff. But there were so many people in there, and I'm seeing all the kids with their basketballs and jerseys and posters. And I'm like, we probably need to wrap this up quicker. That way they can get, because I don't, those guys wouldn't want to leave early and just leave a bunch of people hanging. We also didn't want to keep them twice as long as they agreed to stay and everything like that. So that balancing act was the only real stressful part about it. It wound up working out, but those guys were awesome. They stayed later than they had to, but every single person, every kid, every sweet old lady, everybody that, wanted something signed or wanted a picture or just wanted to shake hands and say hi. Those dudes were all about it, man. And they had, and they enjoyed it. They had smiles on their faces. It wasn't, oh, I'm looking at my phone while I'm, signing somebody. No, it wasn't that at all. And I thought that was really cool of them to do, because they didn't have to do any of that, but they did, and they enjoyed it.
Yeah, their professionalism, I feel like, was the highlight of the night. One, from just making our jobs easier, because there's a lot of moving parts in these things, and if you got two guys who aren't engaged and aren't really dying to talk or whatever, it can be pretty tough. They were super easy from that regard, and yeah, they handled the fans great. And there was even a kid that went up there with a paper towel and a Sharpie and said, "Can you give me your PlayStation name? I want to play 2K with you on PlayStation." And Leak busted it right out and gave that guy's name. I thought that was awesome. And they were into it. You could tell they appreciated how many people were there and how many people were excited for them. And we even called the Hogs.
Yes, we did. And it was an awesome night, and really appreciate it. Because in fact, that's a lot of the comments that we had. Like, shout out to our guy Peyton, who was there from Blue Ember last night. He says, so glad to hear so much positive feedback about last night. The guys did a heck of a job orchestrating everything and just making sure things went smoothly. Again, no one works harder than Inside Arkansas. Thank you, Peyton. Appreciate you, and it's good to finally meet you there last night too. Yeah. The technical side of stuff is always, the greatest rivalry I'll ever have. Is just
realized John met Peyton last night.
Yeah, like the in person, right? We spent a lot of time with him, Andrew, and I know. When he said that last night, I was kind of taken aback. I'm like, did John forget the relationship we had with this guy? Then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, oh, I guess this is actually true.
Yeah, I never got to meet him in person till last night, so it was a good one for it. So, because a few other comments about it too is Harburg Knox says, Curtis and Ellis watched the interview this morning, thought both of y'all did an excellent job. Hope the people at U of A saw it and leads to more opportunities for stuff like that. Well, I'll just say, for this perspective, this has nothing to do with the U of A, folks. Like, it's like behind the scenes, U of A is not involved in any capacity, but did shout out to Morgan, who was great and helping set all this up. This is strictly between us and Inside Arkansas, Blue Ember Smokehouse, and Malik Thomas and Amir Brown. The University of Arkansas is not involved one iota. So one of the positives about NIL.
Exactly. And also, we're good with the U of A, man.
Yeah.
Like this is there were some hurdles that we had to cross. We crossed them. Like we got credentials. We're, like we're not shunned from the building or anything. Like that stuff of the past, man. Like we're good.
Can I tell a funny story on this regard real quick?
Sure.
So I go to Bomb on, I guess it would have been Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And I go to pick up my credential, and they're like, no credential for you, buddy. And I was like, what do you mean no credential for me? And I texted Curtis, and I was like, man, I'm pissed off. I don't know. I had to, and luckily I had a ticket, so I walked in. I texted Oliver, the SID, and I was like, dude, Oliver, like, just talk to me, dude. Like, what did I do? Like, just what's going on? It turns out my email went to the server and not to Oliver. And so he was just like, hey, I didn't get your email. No big deal. I'll send a credential down for you. And then the next day it was there for me and it was all good. But I was like, I was already like, I was like, dude, did I say something bad? Like, what happened? Did they cut me off and they didn't even tell me? Turns out the email just didn't go through. No biggie. But yeah, no, the U of A has been a lot better to us now. And I think what Heartbroken Hawk said about, this is good for them, good for us. There is no victim when we are doing business with the U of A, except for us whenever they lose. That's really the only time.
True.
Yeah. Well, and also it's another little fun little story about that too, because since we're talking about it, first baseball series that I got credentialed to, I didn't have a credential, but I had emailed and it was fine. But I'm talking to the guy down low. He's just like, yeah, there's a lot of credentials they didn't give me. And sometimes they just, too busy to make it work and all that. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I go up to Oliver and all that. And it's like, yeah, sometimes those yellow vests down there don't really know, all this stuff. I was like, all right, I guess somebody got disconnected here. But yeah, no, to the point though. Yeah, it's good with the U of A. In fact, tomorrow, I'm not going to be on the show tomorrow. I feel like I'm taking off Inside Arkansas Live all the time now, but they're actually doing a media meet and greet luncheon type thing with the Razorback football coaches tomorrow at noon. So, and also Ryan Silverfield will speak to the media afterwards. So Curtis and Andrew are going to hold that down. And then on Friday, Curtis and Andrew are going to go to Pro Day for Razorback football. And then I'm going to set up everything at Alumni Hall. So yeah, football wise starting up. And, that's the thing is we love doing Inside Arkansas Live at noon. It's very beneficial, but man, they love to do all their stuff at noon and, make it work, especially on the football side of things, but it'll be great.
Still, like our most watched clip ever was Cam Little out there from a Pro Day.
For whatever reason, I just really enjoy Pro Day. I don't know what it is about just seeing these fifth-year seniors, half of which have no chance of getting drafted. Just seeing them out there doing the drills, seeing all the the NFL teams out there. It's a fun time.
Yeah. Well, this one will be great too. I mean, it's always great, but the fact that you had Taylor Green and Mike Washington blow up the combine, and they're going to be a story right now. It's going to be really awesome to see them in action. All it's going to take is, Taylor Green only running a 4.4 flat 40 this time or something. He's not going to do that, but just something's going to, see, look at him. He's terrible. People are going to start flipping out on it. So let's see. Even Evan says, is it weird interviewing a guy that might be lighting it up in the NBA in a few months?
Normally, maybe it would be, but it wasn't with Lee. He was from the moment we greeted him outside the door, you knew that was going to be an easy one. I mean, he was engaging. He was cool. Very meticulous about his barbecue ordering, and that was that. He was locked in to what he was getting to eat. That's for sure.
I remember at one point, Chance was talking to him about something, and Leek looks at him and goes, "Everyone says it's good. Everyone likes it." He was talking about those little jalapeno things or whatever. He was
the brisket twisters. Yeah.
Brisket twisters. That's right.
Yeah. No. It was awesome. Yeah, because there's actually one heavy hitters comes up with something I want to bring up with the heavy hitters dealing with the show last night. So I know we'll talk a little bit more about it too. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Apologize. We have some super chats. Quinn is back and better than ever. Quinn, appreciate it. He goes, I almost fought a Florida fan after the Final Four who was a sore winner, and I was in the Florida section for that game. 6-year-old men doing the gator chomp.
Yeah. He said that he said the Florida fans are bad in person, but I remember now he said Oklahoma fans were the ones online that really.
Yeah, because he went to OU too when they played in football, I think.
Right.
And I guess leading up to it, he was getting in some beef with them, but yeah.
That's interesting. Oklahoma, I would never guessed, but
I could see it in football.
Yeah, football for sure.
Maybe when Arkansas plays those guys in 10 years or whatever, it's crazy. They're going to be in the league as long as they have before Arkansas plays them, but maybe we'll see some of that.
Yeah, maybe by the time Arkansas and Oklahoma playing football, there'll not be any conferences anymore. It'll just be just everybody together, which means the schedule will change again, and then they end up not playing Oklahoma. So, But okay, so he also says, yeah, Florida fans are bad in person, Oklahoma fans are bad online. Arkansas fans have been really touchy the last couple of days at Arkansas. Well, welcome to our life. Let's see.
Last couple of days.
Yeah. It's like, it's just, like I got a DM over the weekend. I'm doing any content. It was just from a Razorback fan. Be like, literally DM me, was like, the fact you believe this is so stupid. Call me the P word and everything. I was like, I'm not even on the air. Like, just leave me alone. I was like, I'm in Mexico. I was like, I got my guy bringing cervezas over here, and you're over here talking about crazy stuff that I'm saying that I wasn't even around for. Slimly, I'm going to say that's how I say it. Appreciate Super Chat. Goes, just so happens I'm being sent over to Nashville for work this week. Might pick up some tickets for this weekend since I'll be in the area.
There you go.
I would suggest
you need to do that.
Yeah.
Attending the SEC tournament in person is a really good time.
It is.
Have a lot of fun there. And especially when it's in Nashville, which it is a vast majority of the time, there's like usually every team has a contingent, some more than others, but that's a lot of fun. And then the locals come and they'll adopt their teams as they want to. And but it's a cool event, man. You should.
Are y'all looking forward to being there Sunday for the title game?
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
No, I'm not looking forward to that because it's never gonna. It's like one of two things are gonna happen. Either they're going to lose in the title game and I'll be bummed, or they're going to lose in the title game and then I'm stressed out even more so about making sure on Selection Sunday we get our stuff together on that. And so it's like,
I'm so excited for that Selection Sunday stream though.
Me too.
Yeah, I am too. I'm excited for that. And there's just something special and magical about that, which of course NCAA tournament's awesome, but yeah, the Selection Sunday, that's what's great about college basketball. It's the one like sacred thing that's why we don't want it to expand. There's just so much greatness of like Selection Sunday is college basketball. It's not any other sport. It's college basketball Selection Sunday, and March Madness. It's all its own stuff. It's perfect.
Yeah. By the way, we did ask the boys where they would prefer to play in the NCAA tournament. Easy answer was Philly. Yeah. Which has now become my number one choice. I'd be cool with San Diego. I certainly won't be upset with San Diego. I think Philly is my new number one choice. One, because I've never been. I want to go take a picture at the Rocky statue. I want to get a cheesesteak, but also they can have their family there. I imagine if they play in Philly, those dudes are going to have like 30 family members in there.
Oh, it'll be crazy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cal has a lot of ties to the area. That'll be a lot of fun.
If I have to fly somewhere, Philly would be the place I'd like it to be. If I have to fly somewhere, Tampa is a close second because I do like Tampa. But yeah, I'd be cool with Philadelphia.
Tampa would be fun.
Yeah,
in Philly, they put batteries inside of pillowcases and hit fans with them. If you're an Eagles fan and like you have a Cowboys fan that's giving you trouble, that's what they do. They hit them with batteries.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean I'm not an Eagles fan, so I guess, or a Cowboys fan, I should say.
Yeah.
So
and make sure that's clear. Make sure they know we are not associated with any of your rivals.
Yeah, I'm gonna be wearing my Vinny Testaverde Jets jersey over there to make sure that everybody knows I'm
like, this guy's not a threat at all.
Yeah, this guy sucks. It's like he likes terrible football. He's easily okay. He's cool. We don't have to beat him up. So, all right. So we'll get to more of your chats, folks. Let's go ahead and get into our heavy hitters today, presented by our friends over at HD Roofing and Construction, because we know that storms can hit unexpectedly. We know that it's been going on in the past week here in the state of Arkansas when you have tornado warnings and watches and storms and winds and everything. Scary times. And it's something that you always have to make sure that you're protected from. Well, really needs to start with your roof. You don't need to have a roof that can't handle the storms, can't handle all the elements, and you need to make sure it's checked out. And so luckily for you, HD Roofing Construction is going to have you covered, and it's going to help you out with that each and every step of the way. Because with HD Roofing, they're going to give you a free inspection to give you that peace of mind, whether it's something you need to have replaced right away, or whether it's something that needs to be repaired, or if it's just totally fine and it's a great roof, they're going to let you know, and it's all going to happen for free. And they rely on professionalism, top quality materials, and that expert installation for all of your roofing needs. You can give them a call today, as they have 2 offices here in the state of Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas, 479-957-1928. That's 479-957-1928. In Central Arkansas at 501-428-0429. That's 501-428-0429. You can also check out their website at hdarkansas.com. It's HD Roofing and Construction, the official sponsor of our heavy hitters here on Inside Arkansas. So, guys, I know we've talked a lot about last night's show, but I just wanted to add another little thing to what my heavy hitter, or one of my heavy hitters is. from last night is the fact that, seeing the autographs and taking pictures and all that stuff, and everything about the event was great. But it really hit home for me seeing kids go up to those guys and like have their jerseys. Because like I grew up a Razorback fan, and I remember the first time I got to meet Matt Jones as a kid, and it was the greatest day of my life. Like, and just like I'll never forget it. And looking at it from this perspective now, it's like, yes, these guys are really great and they're great players, and they're going to end up being great. But you look at it as almost like they're gods. Like it's just another level. And like seeing some of the joy on some of those kids' faces, just knowing that they got to like meet Malik Thomas, and him interacting with him, being great with them all, and all that was just such a cool moment for me personally, because I just remember how cool that was as a kid and that feeling I had. And there was not one sense of arrogance or entitlement from either one of those guys, which goes into my other point too. I'm not going to get into all the details of it, but I'll just say this, folks. A lot of us can get that negative feeling and vibe from high level talent who's just getting paid a ton of money. He's going to be here 1 year, and you're like, this person doesn't care. Don't really care for him about that, whatever. Let me tell you something. In this whole process, I won't go into details, but this whole process, Malik Thomas and Amir Brown, from the jump when we even proposed it, were excited to do it, wanted to do it, and wanted to do it the best that they could. Like there was never a thing of like, oh, okay, we got to do this. No, they were excited about it and they wanted to do it. So my head was just them where they didn't have to do it. They could have said, nope. They could have said, nah, not unless you get me 6 figures. Like they could have done any of that stuff and whatever, but they didn't. They chose it. And especially at a time where they're getting ready for postseason play, they chose to do this. So again, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to them. Shout out to Blue Ember, shout out to you guys, and shout out to everybody, but really for those two guys, because they did not have to do any of this, and they did it all, and they were awesome about it. So I just wanted to give them an extra additional shout out so people can understand not every one of these players that are getting NIL money and all that are a bunch of entitled jerks. Like there's a lot of these players that are truly just awesome people, and I just wanted to give them another shout out for that.
I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. Echo everything that you just said there. I'll throw a heavy hitter out at Chin Coleman. He got a couple honorable mentions last night during the show. Turns out he was the ringleader in getting the guys to soak John Calipari with the water after getting the win at Missouri. He got the shout outs when we asked, which coach is best dressed, who's got the best drip. It was one of maybe my favorite moment of the night was because they both said, well, it's either Brad Calipari or Chin Coleman, and Andrew was like, "You guys like the turtleneck look from Brad?" And Leek goes, "Yeah, I got to talk to him about that." that was probably my favorite moment of the night.
Leek had zero respect for Ronnie Brewer's game.
None.
Zero. Like,
also didn't know who Rodney Clark was, which I don't necessarily blame him for that. But
that makes sense because Rodney Clark was back in the day, and he was like a small town guy. I don't think he didn't even play in the league or anything. But yeah, Ronnie Brewer, he just had zero respect that he could even have a chance to guard him. I was like, man, come on, Brewer's got to show out the Utah Jazz tape and let him know, like, hey, I was clamping dudes in the association. So let's just relax. Yeah. You know that video of Mike Miller where he's at Memphis and he's just coaching the whole team? Ronnie might have to bust out one of those.
He might have to.
Well, I was going to say, too, I didn't, when you brought up Rodney Clark, I forgot about that last time. I'm like, Rodney Clark? It's like, and then they're saying they didn't know him. And I thought about it, I was like, he played, like, Rodney was at Arkansas when these guys were born.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, just, it's like imagining, like, somebody be like, oh, man, you don't remember Quinn Grovey? It's like, no. Because he was the year I was born, I guess. So that was a funny moment, though.
Matter of fact, so when I get to my heavy hitter, I'm not going to say who it is, but my heavy hitter, because I got to spoil it for the thing. My heavy hitter today did not know who Barry Linney was.
Really?
Yeah, and this is an in-state Razorback legend.
Barry
Linney, and the pitcher that I'm going to make my heavy hitter.
Did you say Barry Linney or Barry Linney?
I mean Lunny.
Okay. No, sorry. For some reason, because I know a guy named Barry Linney, actually, and I'm like, wait a minute. It's
Lunney.
Okay. Got you. No, I have like a friend that's name's Barry Linney, so that's why I was throwing me off. I was like,
not your buddy from school.
Not my buddy from school. So, Curtis, did you give your heavy hitter?
I did, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So, Andrew, go ahead.
Well, my heavy hitter is Will McIntyre, who I had on the show. Actually, I've got two heavy hitters, but Will McIntyre is the first one. Did not know who Barry Linney was, which was interesting to me, just because, growing up in the state. But no, we had a great time talking with Will McIntyre. it's nice because obviously his career at Arkansas is now come and gone, and I feel like now that we are removed from it, we can now look back at Will McIntyre and appreciate him for what he was, which is, an in-state kid who grinded his way to everything that he did at Arkansas. And, I think he's 5th all time in the program in appearances. Just he gave us 36 years of service, guys. I mean, you gotta respect that for sure. So I had a good time talking with him. Check out that interview on the Bombastic Podcast later today. And my second heavy hitter is another great in-state Razorback, Jalen Williams, who did get a shout out last night at Blue Ember, but last night absolutely cooked in a head-to-head matchup with Nikola Jokic. Now Jokic went for 34, 14, and 13, but Jalen Williams went for 29, 12, and 3. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hit the game winner. Another great Razorback. So, yeah, it was just a great day. I think Isaiah Joe had 13 points as well. So it was a big night for former Razorbacks. But shout out to Jalen Williams, man. He's been playing some great basketball here lately, and he's going to be a huge part of, maybe the back-to-back champs.
It's good to see. Good to see after, I remember last year Jalen Williams was a big part of, defending Jokic and everything in the playoffs, and then there's been some back and forth and everything like that. That was really cool. Or am I the only one that's surprised and disappointed that the team didn't get the sneakers that have just been going viral on?
A little bit, yeah.
Like if I had the opposite of a heavy hitter, it's like, how has this not happened? I just don't get it. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. How could you see Kevin Durant and Devin Booker wearing Razorback shoes and then just be like, oh, but you Razorbacks, but we're not giving you those? What?
Come on, man. Yeah.
Somebody, Cal, I'm sure could fix this real quick. If just one phone call to Devin Booker, I think could probably get it done. But Leak was saying he talks with John Wall every now and then. I feel like Leak has enough motion to just shoot him a text. Hey, Devin, I need some shoes, buddy. Hook me up.
I wonder how much those would cost. I don't even know. I don't know shoes. Like, it's just, but they're cool. And just glad to see all these former pro hogs like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and all of them wearing it. It's great. It's great to see. So, but yeah, going back to real quick, Jalen Williams, did he go 7 of 10 from 3 last night too? Like, he was hitting threes. And I saw somebody tweet like, "Where was this in Arkansas?" I'm like, what are you talking about?
He's hitting threes at Arkansas.
Made some. Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, sorry, he didn't go 7 of 10 from 3 at Arkansas at any point in time. I'm sure he's devastated by that. So,
bro is a sniper at Fort Smith Northside.
Yeah,
he was knocking down threes at the high school level.
Listen, I'm just excited to bring back for the NCAA tournament. We're not done yet either, so don't be satisfied because we're not done. That was like one of my favorite quotes from Jalen Williams as a true freshman. Him saying out that and having fun with that. So, yeah. Okay, so did you have two? Those were just your 2, right, Andrew, for heavy hitters?
Yeah, two great former in-state Razorbacks.
Of course. Get back to your chats real quick. Appreciate everybody. It's a super chat from It's Lanky. It says, how did the players not receive player exclusives? Well, that's the question. Oh no.
Probably because they're player exclusives. But we're definitely we got to get those guys some shoes.
Yeah, somebody's got to yell at Riley over there and just say, hey, Riley, get him the shoes.
That's whose fault this is for sure.
Be better.
Yes. Be better, Riley. B. Lanny just sent a super chat. I didn't see a chat. I tried to look for it. Sorry, B. Lanny, but we appreciate it.
Yeah, I didn't see one either. I was looking right away.
Yeah, but appreciate it, though, regardless. Quinn says Philly is a bleep hole. Thank you, Quinn, for letting us know. But I've never been to Philly. Have you guys been to Philly?
I spent a night in Philly, but didn't go out. We were like at the airport hotel before we went home one day. So I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, obviously any big city, there's like parts of it that suck and parts of it where it's dangerous. And I feel like Philly is definitely not above that. But I also feel like that's kind of, what big city could we go to where, like, even San Diego, I'm sure there'd be a part of San Diego where we'd be like, I don't want to go there. That's not great.
Yeah. But anybody says like there are some cities that are worse, believe me. But yeah, Tampa, which I think is an awesome city. It's like they got bad parts of it. It's just the way it is.
Chicago, we might go to Chicago in the second weekend.
Yeah, I will say sorry, Andrew. I don't want to really go to Houston if they go the second weekend. I'm not the city of Houston fan. I don't like.
Yeah, Houston. I'm also like I like it because my brother lives there and because I like the sports teams. But Houston is not a city that is constructed for this kind of thing. It's like the least. It's the in terms of big cities, it's the hardest to get around.
It is.
Like Chicago, it's not that hard to, hop on a bus, hop on whatever. Oh, it's all pretty walkable. Houston is not walkable at all. And it's also just impossible to get around anywhere. Got $46 Ubers just to go a mile.
Do they have Waymos?
I don't think so, but I don't know that for sure.
I feel like the fourth biggest city, or its third biggest city, or whatever it is. Surely they got Waymos. By the way, just real quick, Kamani Johnson just liked the tweet of what Malik Thomas had to say from last night. So
there we go.
Just wanted to pass that along for everybody for your Kamani Johnson update. Let's see. Finch says, "Can we speak on Izzo flipping out, saying he's nobody's little bro?" Did I miss this?
Well, this is after he was trying to defend Jeremy Fears for crotch kicking somebody, and then because they lost the rivalry game and everything like that. My thought process is on this, Finch, if you're Tom Izzo, why are you speaking on this at all? You know what I mean? Like, you're Tom Izzo. You've been doing this for a long time. If you're not anybody's little bro, you don't even acknowledge this. You don't even bring it up. You don't even say it. You don't speak it into existence. Dusty May is just another, opponent in your path or whatever. I thought that was a little bit weird that happened, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That tells me that he's feeling it. Like the rivalry, the trajectory, whatever, the pendulum's starting to swing. So,
I'm glad, because again, I don't like Tom Izzo. I know he's Cal's boy and all, but I don't like Tom Izzo. Never really have.
See y'all next year. Welcome to the Palace, suckers.
Oh, yeah. That'll be fun.
Arkansas's gonna kick there next year.
Yeah, so don't you dare retire, Tom Izzo. Don't you dare. Like, you gotta roll this one out. You can retire after Cal kicks the crap out of you, but you can't do it until then. Okay, B Laney appreciates super chat, because now I see he's like, screw up the first super chat, because he actually said at the very first of the show up here. Okay, so would you rather 8 Elite 8 in basketball, or win 8 regular season football games this year?
Elite 8, without a doubt, bro.
100 times out of 100.
Yeah. Now, winning 8 in football would obviously be massive. I mean, if Brian Silverfield routed off 8 in year 1, there would be a lot of excitement, a lot of rejuvenation around the hill, and it would definitely do wonders for us. But Elite 8 would be electric.
John, stop thinking about this.
Especially because you would knock off a number 1 seed. If Arkansas went to the Elite 8 this year, we would have a lot of ammo for a while.
I'm just saying, like, it just, 8 wins would be kind of cool, though, like, be fun to have a fun fall, right? Go to the Music City Bowl or something, it'd be fun. I don't know. I want to go to, I want to go to the Elite 8, but I just want to have at least somewhat fun in football again. It's kind of like, basketball's rolling, and I want the best for it, obviously, but it would be nice just to have some football success for a change. It's been too long.
Here's the problem with this, though, because obviously winning 8 games in football would be awesome. That would not guarantee you anything moving forward. Like, correct. I think there would be a chance that an 8-win football season would be something that we would forget about. Believe it or not, Sam Pittman won 8 regular season games at one point in football, and that didn't do shit for the program. You know what I mean? Like, it was cool
downhill from there. Yeah,
it was cool in the moment, but it's like that didn't really change. Like, nobody even remembers that happened except for us. Whereas I think the Elite 8 would live longer. Plus, we would have a lot of fun times, and so
Yeah. Well, to that point, though, knowing how it would all go if they won 8 games with Silverfield his first year, everybody is 100% on board. Next year, dude, we're going to go to the next level. Like, it just changes everyone's mindset. If someone's like, dude, if you could do this in year 1, sheesh. Just imagine year 2.
That would actually, in turn, maybe be negative, because I don't think they would maintain
it. Would be. It would be negative. It would 100% be negative, because that's the thing is, like, we'd start sitting here, they'd have because then every portal class would be like, well, this guy last year who was a nobody had led the team in tackles. So this year, if we're going to get this good guy who's a nobody, he's also going to lead the team in tackles. It's like, that's not how that works.
They go 6-6 the year after, and people would not be happy at all, bro. It'd be a disaster.
No, maybe back in the Liberty Bowl once again. Back to the place that Ryan Silverfield built, the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. So, yeah, that's another thing, too. I'm tired of coaches enjoying going back to Memphis for the Liberty Bowl. All right, a few other chats here, too. Trey says, I just want to hear Curtis ask Cal one question before the end of the year. Some of the questions I hear asked from others have me wondering what the point of the question was.
I'll get him at the tournament.
Yep.
Looking forward to that. Here's the thing about Cal is you kind of have to know your coach a little bit to get what you want. And Cal's a tricky one because he's going to say whatever he wants to no matter what. But like with Muss, you had to be very specific and articulate with what you were asking him to get what you want. And so sometimes reporters can be long-winded in asking him a question because you got to get to the, very specific point. With Cal, you got to be short. He's not going to let you say more than like one sentence before he cuts you off and just starts saying whatever. And I think that's why it's a challenge with Cal, because you got like 4 seconds with that microphone to get across what you need to get across before he starts talking. And if you go any more long-winded than that, he's going to lose his train of thought. He might hear the first thing you say and then go from there. So you got to be a lot more concise when you ask Cal a question than you did with Eric Musselman, for sure.
Yeah, I think, and not to knock anybody who's asking questions or whatever, but I think one thing that I would say the Arkansas beat is guilty of more than anything, and this is across any sports, is they ask questions that they feel are supposed to be asked, that they will just kind of ask in a half-assed way of like, oh, Acuff had 28. How good is it to see him get it going? Oh, hey, Trevin Brazil gave you 20 points in this game. Was that good? It's like there's no method to it. It's just like, I know this thing happened. I'm looking at a sheet of paper that tells me that this thing happened, so I'm going to ask you about it. So in case you maybe will have anything interesting to say about it, rather than trying to kind of lob him up for something interesting. And so, but with Cal, maybe that's just the way you got to do it.
Mm-hmm. See, this is my sense of humor, and I don't know if Cal would get my sense of humor because he probably wouldn't. But if I could ask a question to Cal in a press conference, Coach Cal, John Neighbors, Inside Arkansas. Coach, if there is an answer that you could give right now to a question that doesn't really matter, what answer would you want to give? And then just let him rant, because that's usually how it goes. It's like he doesn't answer your question. You give the answer of whatever question you want to be asked to yourself. Go. Here you go. And I don't know if he'd probably not get the humor of it, but I think it'd be pretty fine. A few more chats here, too. Good grief, Quinn. Appreciate you coming in hot. Give us his power rankings of sucky cities. But Chicago sucks. Philly sucks. NYC sucks, but isn't horrible. Atlanta is bearable, but sucks. Portland sucks. San Jose sucks. San Francisco sucks. Boston is cool. Love Nashville. Love Vegas. Milwaukee sucks. Minneapolis sucks.
Okay. Before we move on, because I know we got other ones, I want us to participate in this real quick. I'll agree that Chicago sucks because I am trained to hate the Cubs. So I have to say that. Philly, I don't know. New York City, agreed. Atlanta, I don't like.
No, Atlanta.
Portland, I've been there, not crazy about it. I haven't been to San Jose. San Francisco, that's a tough one.
It sucks.
It depends on what the context is. For the context that we were there, San Francisco was great, I thought.
Sure.
I wouldn't want to just spend a week there.
We could tell from some of our experiences why people would feel the way that they did, for sure.
Of course.
Agreed on Boston, agreed on Nashville, agreed on Vegas. I've been to Milwaukee a couple times, didn't like it. I haven't been to Minneapolis.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't been to a lot of those cities, but some of them I have been. I don't like Atlanta. I never have.
Atlanta's a bottom tier big city, I feel like.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about Atlanta.
Yeah. It's tough to get around there too.
Oh, okay. So you guys got a big airport. Cool. All right, that's great. He also says San Diego is all right. Love Miami and Tampa. San Antonio is cool too. So
okay.
I don't know.
San Diego is one of my favorite places I've been.
See, the thing is, I would love to go to San Diego. It's just far, and you gotta. It's not like, I look at it as in direct flights because, like, my buddy lives in Dallas. I just couldn't imagine going to an airport and not knowing what a connection flight is. Like, just fly anywhere you want to in the world, pretty much on one flight.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that is annoying to me, because even if you fly from XNA to LAX, I think there's a direct flight there. It's like then you still have to fly down to San Diego, and the more you connect, more chances of what happening? Lost luggage. So, I don't want to experience that one again.
I think my thing is, as a small town kid that grew up in a small town, I always like going to big cities, any big city. I don't like staying there long. You know what I mean? Like after like 2 or 3 days, I'm like, okay, I need to get back to, seeing less people or whatever. But I always do like all these places I like to visit, except for maybe Portland. I hope I don't have to visit there. But, Yeah, I like going to big cities, but I definitely wouldn't want to spend an extended period of time. But that's what's cool about this NCAA tournament thing. You're there for 3 days, and then you get out.
Yeah, that's what like we were talking about the Final Four. Like, I love Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis is cool. So it's not a city that people say, hey, let's go vacation in Indianapolis, but it's a cool city. I'd be down for it. So, all right, a few more chats here real quick. Fats by 21 says, hey, Curtis, if Arkansas is paired with Miami, Ohio, max bet on Arkansas.
Max bet on Arkansas, whatever the spread is, hammer it.
Yep. Bruce Pearl will agree too. So he'll make that happen for you. Ryan says, Andrew, if the bottom 3 just don't produce, isn't this offense still decent? Isn't 6 pretty good hitters enough to get by? I think our big problem is we haven't had the power hitting.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that's when I say Arkansas has a high floor is I'm kind of baking that in where I'm like, even if the worst case scenario is you don't get anything out of your third baseman, you don't get anything out of your shortstop, and then maybe your DH or one of those other spots is just kind of not doing anything for you, you would still have guys in the middle of the order like Kojal, Helfrich, Aloy, even Robinette and Ruiz. Those guys alone, and now Micah New starting to swing it well. Like they're going to produce their 3 or 4 runs or whatever on average per game. It's just a matter of can you get anything out of those other guys. 6 guys currently hitting over 300 for Arkansas right now. If they continue to do that, Arkansas is going to probably be okay given the pitching staff. I think right now the team average is at like 296. But yeah, I agree that they need to hit for power. As much as everybody views home runs as a bad thing, if you look at when Arkansas hits a lot of home runs, that's usually when they score a lot of runs. That's usually when they're up there in the SEC. And if you look at last year, that's actually when they had a better batting average, when they were also hitting for power. And so it just kind of makes you more dangerous overall. And so, yeah, got to get some of these guys that we know have power to start producing in that regard.
A few more here real quick. Quinn says, for all my haters, I have you fools blocked. Good to know. Our guy Whitty, been a member for 10 months. Appreciate you, Whitty. Says, proud of you guys. Last night was awesome. Y'all are crushing it and doing it the right way. Plus, thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, Whitty. And Pooh Bear says, hey, John, Geno Smith to the Jets. Hi, buddy. Yeah, if I was in, it's like if I was any more excited, my nipples will be harder and my clothes would explode. So yeah, I'm pumped. Anyways, so on that note, fellas, any final thoughts before we roll out of here for the day?
Nah, I don't have anything profound.
I don't know if I have anything profound either, other than tune into the Bombastic Podcast, tune into the SEC basketball show, which I guess is going to, Curtis, is it coming out tonight?
Yeah, we'll put it out tonight.
We're putting it out tonight. Check that out. And stay tapped in with what we got going on, man. Fun time of year.
Yeah, lots going on here at Inside Arkansas with the Razorbacks and everything, covering it all. And we're going to have it all right here. So be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube at Inside Arkansas. Be sure to follow us on social media at Inside Arkansas as well. And be sure to follow along with every one of our audio version of podcasts, wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, the Bombastic Podcast, Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast. And that'll do it for us today. For Andrew Ellis, Curtis Wilkerson, intern Cameron, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel. Tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you then.